It's been a bit overwhelming, I will be honest, but I appreciate it. Hi, I'm not done. Okay, you're going to watch it today. If you haven't watched it and you do have some questions, I do have some moderators in here who may be able to answer the question, or they may just tell you, hey, she covers that in the video. So I just want to put that out there. Okay, so I will tell you guys, just from what I see on my screen, these are coming in really, really rapidly. So I'm going to do my best to answer questions that you guys have. Hi, West Africa. I did see that. I'm going to do my best, but please bear with me. It's just one of me and it's a lot of you. So just bear with me. So there's a few things I wanted to say just off the top that I've been seeing the comments. I've seen some of the lives that people have had. I've seen a lot of the Stitch videos. So I want to just take a moment to address two things. First and foremost, I don't know if this was made clear in the video series. Guys, I do not know what was going on with the knee situation. My belief is that the knee is a symptom of something else. I tried to encourage, hey, go to the doctor. I will go with you. I will go with you. But because of the weight loss, I felt like the knee situation was a symptom of something bigger. It was never confirmed what it was because he got kicked out June of 2021. Once he was kicked out, I did not care anymore or question what's going on with the health. So I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. I know I put in the last video, look, God has kept me. God has protected me. That's all I'm gonna say. So I don't know what is true and what is not true because after June of 2021, there was no further discussions on health and anything like that. So I just want to put that in there. So yeah. And certain things I'm probably not going to address just because it's not for me to address. And I hope y'all understand that. It ain't for me to address because it's not my health situation. Okay. Another thing that I feel like it's only fair also to address. I am aware that his information was put out there. From what I have gathered, he was exposed. It started off with one particular creator. I'm not going to name that creator just because I'm not trying to create more drama. I did not know that his information was going to be released. It would have been good if I had been given a heads up because I would have simply asked, could you hold off for about 24 to 48 hours so I could get certain things in place? But that didn't happen. It's out there. I am aware it's out there. And I understand the curiosity, but my goal was to try to keep as much of this story, as much as I could, keep it confidential in terms of people's private life. I tried, but I am aware that the face and the image has been plastered everywhere. But no, I was not made aware ahead of time that it was going to be released. And like I said, if I could have, I would have respectfully have asked that person, could you hold off? Because I know the attention is going to be perceived as antagonizing to that individual. And I did not want to antagonize. Again, I hope y'all can understand what I'm saying. Okay, am I safe? I am safe. I'm taking some additional steps since certain things were released, but yes. Okay, so if you're coming in and you're asking about the knee, again, I don't know exactly what happened to the knee. I only know the knee was the first symptom that something was wrong. But again, once he was kicked out at June of 2021, I did not ask. Yes, I am safe in more ways than one. Again, certain things I'm not going to directly address because it's not for me to address. But as for me and my body, I'm good. I just need to lose some weight, lose these stomachs and this chin. That's the most health thing I need to work on, is lose some weight. So yes, I did enjoy my birthday. Did you ever? Oh, okay. Wow, these are coming in fast. I do have moderators. I may need to get some more, and I'm going to have to kind of work on the screen to see what. Someone asked what was the wedding like. It was at a courthouse. There was no wedding. Or excuse me, there was no ceremony. It was at a courthouse. Do you think it's possible that he got those kids' shoes to make you think he had? So in regards to the kids' shoes, and what they're talking about has to do with a little girl named Egypt. I never verified who Egypt is. I do know that the shoes were sent to someone in St. Louis. I have a theory on what it is, and I really just think it was another lie. And I honestly think it has to do with another female that he was probably talking to or texting inappropriately is actually what I think it is. I found out that Egypt is not a niece at all, no relation at all. My engagement ring, my engagement ring did not actually come from the jeweler at Mall of Georgia. I found out it came from Amazon. So yes. And so when you see people ask what happened to the ring, I ended up losing it. I couldn't pawn it because it was only $34.99. So yeah. My moderators are in here. Yeah. Did he? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to just see stuff. It's the only reason why y'all didn't go to London. No, the reason why we didn't go to London was because there was a bold-faced lie and he was never planning to take me to London. It had nothing to do with the passports. It was just another lie. Have I dated since? No. Did you ever find out what really happened to his knee? No. Would you ever get into production allowing a company? So that's a very fair question. Is it Simone? Samone. I've gotten a lot of emails. I have not had the chance to answer all of them. I will. So if you have emailed me, you didn't get a response, please, again, my inbox is crazy, but I will make a point to answer each email, even if it is a simple thank you. I will. Why didn't you block him on Facebook? I don't have Facebook and he's always been blocked. However, it is fair to note that he has had multiple Facebook accounts. So when I would block one, another one would pop up. So eventually I just deactivated my own Facebook. What happened to his studio apartment? Okay, so with the studio apartment, here's what I can tell you. My understanding is that when he moved in with me, he moved out of it, giving it up. Once he moved in, I have no idea what happened to that studio apartment. Has he tried to contact me? Not since all of this. The last time he tried to contact me directly was December of 2021. He liked so this is how I found out that he had another Facebook page. He liked a Facebook post from February of 2020. He liked it last year, 2023. And the name on his Facebook page was a completely different Facebook page than what I had initially blocked. So I had to block it again. Okay, so who was Shantae? Shantae was completely made up. The sister in Douglasville, I eventually found out she was completely made up. There is absolutely no evidence that she ever existed. Has his family okay, I'm sorry. I think it said, has his family contacted me since? I don't know if you mean since all of this. No. I have never spoken to his twin, but the last time I spoke to the older brother was again in this story that I told you guys. We have not spoken since. Once only thing that he requested was for me to send him the photo album of pictures if they were never picked up, which they weren't. So he said, look, I don't have any room or I don't have the right to ask you for anything, but please, if you have it in your heart, please send me the photo album. And I did. After that, he wished me well, and I was waiting to get my divorce decree. So we have not spoken since. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for watching. Seriously. This was definitely... okay, so also I see that about the realtor friend. There were two Scotts. One Scott was the one who actually represented us, showing us about 20 different houses. He's real. The Scott who was the friend that he talked to on the phone was completely made up. No evidence that I ever found that he existed. Okay, so if Netflix calls, I will answer the phone. I ain't crazy. Thank you, Paris Milan. Did I ever find out what was making him sick? No. I have had different theories. On one hand, I thought maybe it could have been an autoimmune disease. I also thought maybe it was the C word because both of his parents passed away from it, but nothing was ever confirmed. Once he was out the house in June of 2021, it's above me now. Not to be funny, but that was my attitude. It's above me now. Okay, trying to, okay, oh, wow, okay. Sorry, guys, it's a lot. My screen is just moving. So, do I plan on dating again? Probably need to, I need to heal, so probably not anytime soon. Okay, I don't know how to slow it down. So if there are pinned comments, I don't see them on the screen. So I'm trying to hold the screen and then move it with my finger. So that's what I'm trying to do. Why didn't the new job? You said, why didn't the new job do their research with the Real Social? I don't understand that question. I don't know whose job you're talking about. Are you talking about mine? Because they wouldn't do research on my spouse if I'm the one that's working. So another thing I need to address, the social. I saw this in a lot of comments. So please know that before, when I filed for divorce and I represented myself pro se, I do have some attorney friends, and I've talked about one in particular, Tracy Tripp, and I reached out to another. Even though the social on our marriage license was not accurate, that was not grounds in the state of Georgia to get an annulment. I had to get a divorce. I reached out to an attorney whose words to me were, is his name correct? Is his date of birth correct? Yes. The only thing that was incorrect at the time of this phone call was the first three numbers on the social. It was not grounds for an annulment in the state of Georgia. So that's why I had to get a divorce. How did he know? How did he know how to do all this? He's done it before. It very much is his MO. He's done it before. Every question that I had, there was either a piece of paper or some fictitious email ready to kind of show some sort of proof. I don't know what made him like this. Had you not, there was a question there that I wish I saw. I think whoever wrote this question, could you write it again? You said something about, had I not talked to the ex-wife, would I still be there? If that's correct, if you could just try to do that one more time, post it one more time, because I want to see if that is what you actually asked. I watched all 50 parts. Thank you guys. If you watched all 50 parts, thank you. Do I feel he has a mental illness? Truth? Yes, I do. I do. My personal belief, I do. What are you asking about the polygraph? So if you're asking questions, everyone, if you're just coming in, first of all, welcome and thank you for coming in. But if you're asking questions on what do I think made him sick, why do I think he lost all this weight, please allow me to once again address that and address it for the last time. I have no idea what made him sick. I have no idea what caused his knee to start messing up. He said that it was football. He's never played football. I don't know if that was made clear or not. He has never played football. So if you're thinking, oh, maybe he hurt his knee in football, no. But I have no idea what caused the knee injury. I have no idea what was making him sick because he never went to the doctor while we were together. Once he moved out of the house, got kicked out, however you want to put it, it was no longer my concern. My concern was only me and my health, and I am fine. I want to make that very, very clear because I understand and I've seen some of the emails just out of concern. I am healthy with the exception of I need to lose weight. I just want to put that out there. How did he pay the rent? He did have a job when we first met in March of 2020. Okay, so his story was that he was with the condiment company for 6 to 7 years. We now know that that's not true. However, he started working with that company just before he met me. Before that is where I saw later on that he had been collecting unemployment. So from March until about April of 2021, he was working, as far as I could see and tell, he was working at the condiment company. April is when he suddenly was saying, I'm not happy there, I want to leave. And later on, after he had already left the house, is when I found paperwork that basically said he had been fired. But I did not know that. So in terms of how he was paying the bills, he had a job. He had a job. Did I address oh Jesus, I can't talk today. JNA4. Yes, I did address it. I wasn't really happy about it, and that's all I'm gonna say. The book bag is a bag that he had left accidentally when he left my house. And inside of the book bag was a whole bunch of evidence. Let's just keep it real. It was a bunch of evidence. That's where I saw the pay stubs, the weekend jail receipts, the copy of the driver's license that showed the Douglasville address and one that showed an Atlanta address. The address that was on the Atlanta driver's license, when I did a Google search on it, it was the cemetery that he had taken me to show me where his grandparents were buried. Did the twin play football? No. As far as I know, he did not. I know very little about the twin. I've never met the twin. I've never talked to the twin. And respectfully, I would like to ask, again, this is just a request, so please spread the word on this. I am requesting that as much as possible, leave the innocent people out of this. There was a reason I tried to be very careful about not using names. So yes, there is a twin. The twin is innocent. let him live his life, please, please. Did the ex-wife ever explain what happened to her? She did, but out of respect for her, it's not my story to tell. And so that's all I'll say about that. Was he going? Was he? Oh, I just saw it. I'm sorry. Y'all, again, just bear with me. Was he going to weekend jail when we were together? No. He was leaving the house every day at 6:15. He was coming home every day between 3:30 and 4 o'clock. And he was home every weekend taking me to houses and car dealerships. So no, he was not going to jail. That had happened way before me. Who was the executive assistant? Shelly, the executive assistant was made up. He pretended to be his own executive assistant on the phone with my doctor, and he pretended to be his own executive assistant through text messages with me. David does not exist. Again, I found that out later on. David does not exist. If once I found out that he was basically a temp and a forklift loader, there was no David. This is a bit overwhelming. Did I ever talk to Latoya or Latanya? And I'm not sure exactly what her name is, so the answer is no. Where was he going when he got fired and was leaving the house every day to work? Lisa Spooner. I found out later on, and I did address this in the videos, for some of the days he was going to Augusta. I found that out. He had been to Augusta about 5 times. So when I thought he was at work, he was actually driving to Augusta. That is true. Hey, Mrs. Porter. No, he did not have health care. When we got married, he wanted me to add him to my health insurance. And I was going to, because technically that would have been considered, I think it's called a life event, where if you get married, divorced, have a baby, adoption, even if you're outside of open enrollment, you can add him. So I was going to, but no, he claimed he had health insurance, and I found out later he did not. Have I talked to Amber since the gas station? Yes. Amber had reached out to me maybe it was a few months or maybe close to a year later. She had reached out to me, and she was really reaching out to see if we were possibly in the market for a house. And I explained to her, I said, we split up. And so that's when she said, hey, if you were ever in the market for a house, and for the record, if I was ever buying a house, I would absolutely call Amber. Absolutely. No question about it. I would call Amber. Hey guys, if you could do me a favor, those of you who have been in here since I started, if you see people asking about the knee and the medical stuff, please do me a favor and just respond to them, because there's so many questions about the knee, and I feel like I definitely addressed that a lot. Thank you. I appreciate it. What was on his criminal record? His criminal record had suspended registration, suspended driver's license, criminal trespassing, and impersonating an officer. So that's what was on there. No, he has not reached out to me. He shouldn't reach out to me, because that whole either reaching out to me directly or indirectly will get a restraining order. Who is Shantae? Shantae does not exist. Have you forgiven him? No. No. Ain't no point in me lying. No. Moderators, if you see, they're trying to tell me that he's in the live. So if you see something about him being in the live, remove him immediately. Please. Are you still in contact with the pastor and his wife? No. We were Facebook friends before I deactivated Facebook. They've wished me all the best, but no, I'm not. I think that they kind of were like, oh, Jesus, we needed to perform an exorcism. So, no, I have not been in contact with them, but I'm sure that I'm sure that they wish me all the best. Let's see. Do you feel like he might have had another mental issue? Yes, I do. What am I doing to heal? I was in therapy for a while. I didn't really like the therapist, so I'm looking for a new one. And I am journaling, which is helpful. Again, for me, it's very helpful. I do need a vacation. And yes, I will take a break because this was a lot. No, Egypt is not, excuse me. I have not found any evidence that Egypt is real. Egypt, the little girl I was talking about, I haven't found any evidence that she's real. Let me choose my words carefully. I am considering a book. I do still have the voice recordings. I saved the voice recordings because, and I didn't talk about this in the videos, but at one point I myself got a bit paranoid and was eerily concerned. Is it possible for your spouse to get life insurance on you without your knowledge? And I had looked that up on Google. Apparently it's not, but I did keep the voice audios. And there was a person in my life who knew that they existed just in case something happened to me. A friend of mine who I confidently told, I have these audio diaries. If anything ever happens, this is where they are located on my phone. Okay, so the $2,000. And what the people, for those of you who did not watch the series, or you're just like, what are you talking about? There was a point when he called me while I was at work and asked me if I would be okay with him lending his ex-wife $2,000 for the stepdaughter's funeral. My answer was absolutely, whatever we can do to help. The truth is, stepdaughter never died. So that was one of those phone calls that was simply part of the lie that the stepdaughter died. He was not actually giving out $2,000. As far as I know, we did not have a joint account. So as far as I know, he did not give $2,000 to anyone. I think it was just part of keeping the lie going. What do you mean I don't know how to set a new goal. Was he still paying the rent when he worked at Apple? So keep in mind, when I say he worked at Apple, I do quotations because he's saying it was Apple. I knew it was not Apple. Yes, he was still paying the bills when he worked there. And when I say there, Apple, because I know it wasn't Apple. Yes, it's monetized. Was he physically abusive? That's a very good question. He was not physically abusive. What he would do was to try to use his size to intimidate, because he was, 6'3", 6'4", and was well over 250 pounds. So we have had arguments where at one time he did punch a hole in the wall in the townhouse. When that happened, I bursted out laughing, which then scared him because I clearly was like, I double dog dare you to put your hands on me. So he has never put his hands on me, but I have seen him angry to put a hole in the wall. What happened to the Nissan? I sold it. Couldn't afford it. Simply put, I could not afford it. Yeah, when it comes to money, and I apologize because I thought that I had made this clear, but if I didn't, that's on me. So I need to work on being better at communication. There was no checking account with Chase Bank. There was no savings account with Chase Bank. There was no savings with US Bank. There was no offshore account. The only money that he had was money coming in from his job. There was no arena football. I found out from his brother, he ain't never so much as thrown a football. So he never played football. He never went to California. He never went to San Diego State. None of it was true. None of it. Thank you. I wasn't sure if I made it clear, but how do you feel about people finding him? So I had addressed that earlier, but I know a lot of people weren't in here. So I say this graciously. I'm fully aware this is social media. I knew that there was a chance he would be found. Being found, in my opinion, is not the same as exposing. So I knew that he would be found. I really figured that people were probably going to look and do a deep dive in his Facebook or his social media and just see what he looked like, but keep it to themselves. The part that is a bit concerning was the exposing and then the interaction. So I had asked earlier, please, I understand you want to see what it looks like, but don't interact. Don't antagonize. Yes, he was exposed, as a creator put, and I would have appreciated if that creator, who is a woman, would have came and told me, I found this out, I'm planning to release it. Because if she had came to me, I would have respectfully asked her, please hold off for about 24 to 48 hours so I can get some ducks in a row. But that didn't happen. So I'm doing the best I can to get those ducks in a row. So what led to the desperation? That's a fair question. My biological clock. I wanted a family, and I felt like, and I said this before, I felt like God was taking too long. And I don't mean to make that sound so matter of fact, but truth be told, I wanted a family. I did not want to be a single mom. I wanted to be married. And I got to an age where I really felt like, oh my God, time is running out. And that's what fueled me to make just bad decisions and ignore things that I should not have ignored. So, what's crazy is it is on his resume. It absolutely is on his resume, the San Diego State, along with the arena football. Okay, let's see had they not exposed him, would you have given more parts to this story? Wow, that's a good question. Probably, because I can tell you that once I got the notification that he was put out there, if you notice, I believe it was part 44, I kind of was like, let me hurry up and wrap this up. So yeah, I probably would have gone into more detail. And to be fair, the question is not, what did he lie about? That is not the correct question. The correct question is, what did he tell the truth about? So if I sit back and talk about everything he lied about, it easily would have been 100 parts. Easily. And I'm not exaggerating that. So. Let's see. What did I do with the WWE belts? I sold them on Facebook Marketplace. That's what I did. If he got fired in April, how did he pay the bills until June? Okay, so I believe that this was addressed in the videos, but I'll address it again. I found out that he was fired once after he was out the house, okay? What he told me was that he was getting another job. And he got another job in April, May-ish time. He had gotten another job. So he was paying the bills because he did have another job. That job that he got, he claimed was Apple. I was old enough to know better. Did he have an addiction? As far as I know, I did not see any evidence of an addiction. No, I didn't see any evidence of addiction. Him taking the pain pill from my miscarriage for the pain in his knee is the reason why I remember it, is because this is a guy who wouldn't even take an aspirin for a headache. So I knew that his pain level was extremely high, but no, I didn't see any evidence of addiction. How does your family feel about you posting this? They've been very supportive. Very supportive. I think that we all are a bit overwhelmed at how this is taken, but my family's always been very supportive. Yes, Ashley, I talk about how at one point he took one of the pills that they had given me for my miscarriage to help with his knee. Did I study communications? No, I didn't. Did y'all have any good moments? That, first of all, that's a very, very good question. The problem with the question is that everything I thought was good was a lie. So, for example, when he took me to Michael Kors and bought me a purse, that was fun, but it was followed by going to a car dealership. So you see how it may have been something good, but then it was overshadowed by a lie. So I don't mean for this to sound dramatic, and I don't mean for this to sound sad. I really don't have any good memories because everything was a lie. It's hard to think about one event that was just really good. I don't have any, to be honest with you. Did you question his lack of health insurance as a VP? No. Let me tell you why. Because he always maintained that he had health insurance. He was telling me he was going to the doctor. Again, it wasn't until later when I was giving you guys all of the events that happened. I'm telling you in order of what he's telling me, and then I told you what all I found out and when I found it out. So at the time of the VP, and for the people who had created these narratives that I met him as a VP, I did not. I did not meet him as a VP. So when he got the promotion, he was always maintaining that he had health insurance and he was actively going to the doctor. He was lying. He was lying about getting the COVID vaccine, not once, but twice. He was lying. So there we go. He just drove past the NCR building. Hilarious. It was more than a stack of red flags. It was more than a stack. Let's put some respect on the red flags. It was the parade of nations that you see at the Olympics. So. Kelly, good question. Kelly, I saved enough money to be able, that I talk about when I moved, I got rid of everything. So I was literally able to move and start over. So I had done pretty good in the savings. But yeah, I had done pretty good in the savings. When am I coming to London? Trust me, I'm going to do everything I can to go to London because, again, it's always been something I've wanted to do, London and Paris. So, did he ever drink? No, he was a very, very light drinker. Why did I take a polygraph test for my new job? My new job required a polygraph test. Tiffany, I think that's how you spell you say your name. I don't know if it was on Terra Boulevard, but yes, at one point he did live out in Clayton County. What about the refusal to show evidence? No, he was never physically abusive. The refusal to show the evidence to the realtors, and really I can only use Scott as an example. The part that I don't know if it's resonating with people, and by the way, if you're in this live and you are a realtor or you work in real estate, I would appreciate, your feedback. I do understand after seeing the comments that What should have happened is that proof of funds and his pre-approval letter should have been shown to the realtor before we ever saw a house. I believe that because it was COVID and certain agents were trying to get a sale, I believe that's why we saw houses before the due diligence of, hey, let me get your paperwork was done. But again, I believed what I saw. Whether it was smart, dumb, I accept that, but I believed what I saw, which is I saw this man say, I have the money to buy this house in cash, and I saw a professional say, okay, here's the offer, go ahead and sign it, you guys send it back to me, and then I will send it over to the sellers. And that's exactly what happened. I do not know anyone in their right mind who would sign an offer to a home and they know full well they have $50 in their account. So I believed what I saw. And again, huge red flags, but I believed what I saw. Yes, I had been to the studio apartment. Sasha, no, that actually stopped about 3 weeks after we got married. Okay, how does your job? Good question. I don't talk about so for the people who don't know, I usually go live twice a day on my commutes and on my way home, but I don't talk about my job at all. So, how did you guys get married? Again, it was a courthouse. How do I feel about dating now? It's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. So, are you worried he will do it to another woman? Worried is not really the word I would use. I know that if he can, he will. That's his MO. Mary, I don't mean to, and I see your question, Mary, so I'm going to address it directly. I'm doing what I can to get my ducks in a row. And that's only because I wasn't given the time to prepare before he was exposed. Does he have any rights to alimony? No, because we are completely divorced. Very close to my coworker, is one of my best friends. No, so that's another thing I want to clear up. No, he was not using his twin social. No. He simply just put down the wrong social. But no, he was not. There's no evidence that he was trying to take the twins' actual identity. What he was trying to do was take the lifestyle of the twin and make it his own, not the identity. Did he post me on social media when we were together? Yes, he did. Did you find out if he had any other children? So dating again, how do you think you will approach it? Cautiously and slowly. And the best thing that someone can do is just be like, let me just be your friend. If it grows, it grows. If it don't, because there's some PTSD. So I've had enough counselors to tell me you have a little bit of PTSD. Have any networks reached out to you? I haven't gone through all my emails, but as far as I know, no. Robbie. So again, in terms of the marriage license with the wrong social, it was not enough in the state of Georgia for me to get it annulled. Thank you, Sunshine, because I claim that in Jesus' name. Yeah, it was not enough to get it annulled in this state. Did your family or friends ever have any suspicions? Yes. And I really didn't want to hear it. So I didn't tell them what would have even brought more suspicions because I didn't want to hear it. So I'm just being honest. That's one of the things. I don't feel as though, it glitched at the children's question. I don't know how to save the live. So if I figure out how to do it, I will, sure. No, he is not. So say this as well. He has not tried to reach out to me at all, and he should not. He should not, and no one should reach out to me on his behalf. So, okay, if it automatically saves, then yes. Did he have kids? No. No evidence that there's kids. Nope, he never played football. Who was the other wife on the obituary? I think you're talking about the first wife. I never did more research into her. All I needed to know was that she existed and that there was a marriage. And so once I found that out, I kind of let that go. Do you think he believed the lies he told? Yes, to a certain extent. Yeah, like I think he knew he was lying, but I think he thought he was smart enough to where no one is going to figure it out. That's what I think. He thought he was smarter than everyone. And I said this to some people, but him getting that knee injury, which again, I don't know what that was, but the knee injury and him being in the bed kind of sick was a slight blessing in disguise. And I'm going to tell you why. Because he was the type of person, he really was a huge distraction. He talked a lot, bragged a lot. It wasn't until he basically spent most of the time asleep in the bed that I was able to do research and kind of have a clear mind on what is the game plan? What questions do I need to answer? So in some ways, when he got sick is when I was able to find out a lot of stuff because he wasn't in my ear all the time talking and lying. I don't know if he has schizophrenia. I have no idea. Slim, no, I never found out who she is. I tried to contact the twin in Nashville in regards to the photo album, and the twin never responded. And so eventually, through a series of events, I ended up sending it to the older brother in Philly. How has your life changed since telling your story? I see the good side of telling the story, and I see the bad side of telling the story. Again, the social media. My goal is that I hope it helped someone. The bad side is, yes, I have seen the TikTok videos, the lives, the posts, the stitches of, my God, she is dumb. And people just tearing me apart. And last night, I definitely kind of went through the rabbit hole a bit. That gave me a lot of anxiety in terms of just the way people didn't even watch the series, but they're making videos about me, or the way that people didn't watch the series and yet they found him and sent him out all over the world, not realizing there might be some backlash behind that. So I've seen the good and the bad. That's all I can say. Asking about kids. Oh. Thank you to the person that wrote that about. I did address as much as I could in the video. Thank you. I appreciate you watching. Did you love him at all? I think I loved more the idea of what it could have been. I think I loved more the idea of what it could have been. That's just the most honest, vulnerable answer I can give you. Ooh, whew. Have I forgiven myself? No. You probably can tell in the videos now. Do you regret telling the story? As of right now, no, I don't regret it. I just don't want it to explode in a negative way. That's all. What stopped 3 weeks after marriage intimacy? Do you want to leave ATL? Oh, I would, just for, if nothing else, to get rid of the traffic. Did I go to therapy? Yes. Didn't really like the therapist, so I'm going to go back. Do you think you can oh, Jesus. Oh, God, these are moving too fast. I can tell it will take, it's going to take time. Gemini, I don't know which way you mean. If you're talking about just side by side, yes, but if you're talking about the other way, no. May. To answer your question, May, it was more of the possibility of this might be my turn. That's what I fell in love with. And I really truly thought that he loved me until I realized after the divorce, after everything was said and done, he did not love me. What did your day-to-day look like after we both got off work? During the week, typically it was whoever got home first cooked dinner. So if I got home first, I cooked dinner. If he got home first, he cooked dinner. He couldn't really cook that well and didn't know how to season food, but that's fine. I was more appreciative of the effort. But the deal was whoever cooked, the other person cleaned. So if I got home after him and he cooked dinner, I cleaned the dishes and he would sit at the dinner table talking to me. So we had lots of conversations, but all the conversations turned out to be a lie. No, I gave him the nickname Legion. So not Legend. Wait, did he give himself the nickname Legend? Are you asking about Legend or Legion? I just need to clarify. Two brothers. Oh, how do you feel about all this attention? Goody, I will be honest with you, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. Thank you, Frankie. No, he's not reached out. He should not reach out. Yes, I trusted him to cook for me. So, have you dated or been in a relationship after him? No, I have not. Yes, Valerie Massey. Yeah, to answer your question, it stopped about 2 to 3 weeks after marriage. Did you guys elope? No, this was COVID. We just went to the courthouse. So the nickname Legion, obviously that is not his name. I call him Legion. I started calling him Legion after I found out all the lies that I could find. And it's from a story in the Bible where they're talking about the number of demons, and that's how I felt. And again, I've been honest, even if it don't make me look good. So I understand if people are offended that I call him Legion, but I didn't know any other nickname to call the creature that I married because, again, everything was a lie. I don't know if people quite understand. Every single thing was a lie. So, was he really talking to himself on the phone? Yes. There was no. So this is what the story is versus what's real. The people that he's saying he's on the phone with, they either don't exist. Scott, his friend Scott, did not exist. Shantae does not exist. Or these are people he has not spoken to in years, like the brother or the best friend. And again, I talk about how these are people who I have contacted and they all verified that, no, we have not spoken to him in years. The big brother, the best friend. So when you take all that into consideration, you realize all the phone calls were fake. Here's what I can tell you guys, and I'm making this statement, you can hold me to it. If the phone call was not on speakerphone, it's not a real phone call. I am confident to say that. Okay. Jessica, it came from Amazon, so no, not real. Yes, Jessamine Blue, am I taking measures to secure my safety? Yes. Why did he want to get me? So the thing about him that I believe, this is my theory, this is not fact or anything, but the theory I have is that he does in some ways want that family, that wife, the kids, the house. I believe, though, he knows that he is he himself is not going to get that, which is why he has created this fictitious world to get women. I feel as though my ex-husband has a specific MO, and his specific MO will only work with a specific woman. If you were a woman who got her head on straight, you were in a healthy self-awareness place, your self-esteem is through the roof, your confidence is through the roof, he would not have even gotten your phone number. And he knows that. So I believe that he goes after a certain type of woman. What I am saying is that I know I put myself in that category of a certain type of woman. And that's why I was able to fall for all that. And you can say, and what is that category? That category can be desperate. That, and I've heard people say a pick me. I don't know if I quite agree with the pick me, but definitely there was some desperation. And that's why I felt like if I'm going to tell this story, I'm going to own my shit. The stuff that, because he didn't do all this by himself. He lied by himself. But in order for him to have even gotten into my life is because I was in a place where I let him in. So, again, just keeping it real with y'all. Please tell me do you think he will tell his side of the story? I think that he possibly would tell a side, whichever side one of the personalities wants him to say. But I can assure you he will be lying. Yes, I did change my last name back. Did you receive all of our donations yesterday? I received a lot of donations, and if you did donate, thank you. I think that's what you're talking about. So if you did donate on Cash App, thank you. But I did receive a lot, and I'm trying to do my best to reply to every single donation, just to say thank you, because sometimes that's all you can say is thank you. So, did I ever tell him about the cheating I found out? I believe you're talking about Peaches. And I don't believe I had a chance to tell him about Peaches because I was in such a rage about the whole thing with his aunt, where he said, my wife don't want me no more. She said I'd be lying to her, but I ain't never lied to her. I was in a rage. How was he when you guys first met? Was anything weird about him? Amanda, he was attentive. He said everything that a woman like me at the time wanted to hear. He was consistent. What was weird about him was that he talked about his accolades a lot. In other words, I played arena football. I had a house out in San Diego, and it wasn't too far from the water type. Like he bragged on himself a lot. That's what was weird. No, the bank account was not real. Does he know if I know the truth? How did he react to you being pregnant? He was absolutely over the moon. He was ecstatic that I was pregnant. Ecstatic. He had been talking about names since like the second day I found out I was pregnant. He was very happy. Where was he during the DNC? When I was in the hospital, he was at work. He claimed that he was in a business meeting. Obviously, we know he wasn't in a business meeting. So what I think actually happened was he wasn't allowed to take off. But I haven't found any evidence other than that. From what I understand, he simply was at work, and that's all I know. Yes, he did have a real job. Oh man, I missed it. Okay, what do you think? What do I think the point of all this was? Like, what was his end game? I honestly don't know what was his end game. I think on some level, as crazy as this is going to sound, I think he thought one of two things. He would never get caught or found out, or he thought I would never leave. And the reason why I say I think he thought I would never leave is because he would make little jokes about, man, you a loyal chick. Like, and he didn't use the word chick, but he would be like, man, you loyal. Like, you know you love me. You ain't going nowhere. Like, he would say stuff like that. And I kind of think that he really did feel that way. You ain't going nowhere. Shitting me. If you had had the baby, would you have stayed? Jesus, that's a scary thought. I don't think I would have, but I think that my motive for leaving would have been more for my kid than anything else. Welcome, if this is your first time on the TikTok Live, welcome. Okay, I don't know. Did you ever have to pay anything out of pocket while being with him? Yeah. So there were times I would take him out to eat. Whenever we would go out to eat, for 98% of the time he paid. But just to try to reciprocate, I would take him out to eat. If I saw something on Amazon that I know that he liked as like a little surprise, because again, he really was doing those kind of things of, hey, I saw this purse that I know you like, ordered it, it's here. So just like he would try to surprise me, I would try to surprise him. In terms of bills, eventually I'm paying my car insurance and my cell phone, because up until I got the Nissan, I was paying my car note. But once I got the Nissan, he was paying the car note. Do you see yourself going to therapy? Absolutely. How have you changed how you listen to God's direction now? Very good question. So I will tell you guys that the one thing that a prayer that used to terrify me to pray was, God, if this person isn't for me, remove them. And I feel like, and I think I made this joke, that if I had said that during Legion's time in my life, I think before I even finished the prayer, he would have been gone. So now, yeah, I'm just like, as soon as I meet somebody, if this ain't the right one, just go ahead and remove them. Like, I don't even need to exchange phone numbers, just remove them. I'm good. Did he push you to share your bank account? I'll come back to that. You said your bills were cheap. Do you think he left, how do I see that, your place to pay bills? Yeah, I definitely think he wanted to look like a provider. Yes. He definitely wanted to look like a provider. That's why he was paying all the bills. Did he mess with my credit card? No. He didn't do anything with my credit. He didn't have the opportunity to. But nothing was done with my credit. How are you still a good person after that? Well, thank you. I have a sense of humor, but I'm struggling. No, he did not mess with my credit card. He didn't mess with my credit at all. Lexi, I did not speak to David, the fake assistant. My doctor did. I texted him, and the fake assistant, David, responded. Cousin, what did you do for your birthday? I went to the spa. What happened to the appliances? He did not fully pay for the appliances. He tried to do a hold order on them, and he canceled it. So he got his money back, because again, the appliances were going to be for the very first house out in Douglasville, and obviously that went out. Did I ever find out who David really was? Yes, David was a figment of his imagination. David did not exist. Yes, I have seen his apartment. What about this? Oh, shoot. Whoever just asked that question about the second wife, please ask it again and then try to pin it. Would you ever consider going on live with the ex-wife you spoke to? Truthfully, I don't know. I don't know. And the reason why I say that is because this has become a bit overwhelming. And so I also don't want to drag this out either, because let's be honest. At some point, we're all going to have to just move on. Is David's number actually the other phone number? I don't understand that question. Hey, friend, watched all 50 episodes, and girl, I'm glad you made it. Thank you. I'm glad I made it out, too. Did you move after the divorce? I'm sorry. Your question's valid. The reason why I'm laughing is because that's just a question that shows you didn't watch the videos. Yes, I did move. What happened to the neighbor? You mentioned he got in a fight with her. He never got in a fight with the neighbor. He lied about that. He lied about that to create some sort of discourse because he thrives on that. Never got into a fight with the neighbor. So that was completely made up. Again, if he told me it, chances are I found out later it was made up. Would you have dated him if he told the truth? What do you mean, Peachy Pears? If he had said, hey, I'm just a forklift loader and I ain't got no money and I don't have a dime to my name, probably not, because he wouldn't have been stable. So let's just be real. Do you know what happened in his life that made him? Very good question. And I don't want to knock his family. I'm not knocking his family. But one of the things that I discovered in the conversations with him and other people, everybody has said he's been like this since he was a kid, which tells me you all saw something in him that was never addressed, never corrected. And now he's a full grown man out here in the world preying on whoever. Because for the record, he's not just preying on women. He has lied to men too, not necessarily in a romantic way, but he lies to everyone. And for the family to all say, oh, he's been like this since a kid, but no one ever addressed it. I'm sure something did happen in his childhood. And that is really sad, especially because the family's just like, that's who he is. We know he a liar. But y'all ain't never try to help him. So that's all I have to say about that. Jacqueline, it's not grounds for a annulment in Georgia. Have you not talked to the ex-wife? No, I haven't. I haven't talked to anyone that has to do with him. The last time I spoke to someone that had to do with him was 2021. I have not spoken to anyone that has to do with him. Like I said at the beginning of the very first introduction video, I have absolutely no ties to him. There's no mutual friends. There's no mutual nothing. We share nothing. Nothing. We are two separate adults. What did your mom and aunt say about it all? My mom is finding out a lot of stuff that I didn't tell her. She found out really and truly when she watched the 50-part series. My aunt is fine. I mean, they're both just, I did not tell them all the details of what was going on. So they're finding out kind of the same time you guys are. Do you think he lied to get off the reactions, or was he compete? He does get off on the reactions. Absolutely. So do you think he lied to get off at the reaction? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Advice for women with someone advice for working with someone like this, working who's a pathological liar. My advice would be to document everything. You might even want to get video, because a pathological liar, if you show them the evidence of where they lied, they're still going to lie and say that you're wrong. So get evidence of everything. That's my advice. Cynthia L. Yes. Ben did that. Just sending you love. Thank God. Thank God for the voice audio diaries. No, I don't play The Sims. Did any of his peeps try to reach out to you after TikTok? No, because my number has changed. So no one has my number, and I'm not on Facebook. So if they try to reach out on TikTok, then that means they're in the queue of all the messages I have, and I have not had a chance to go through them. So what made you tell your story? So I don't know if you guys had saw this, but someone had made a video. What's the most fucked up thing your ex has ever done? And I was just scrolling and was like, oh, I know what mine would be. It would be the grandmother who died of COVID. So when I sent that and that kind of gained some traction, people were like, what? So that's when I made the video of, I don't know if you all saw it, where it said, things my pathologically lying ex-husband lied about. That went crazy. And I sat back and thought about it because a lot of people were like, you should tell your story. And I was like, am I comfortable enough to tell the story? So I started the journey. Once I released part 1, 2, 3, and 4, I kind of felt like I was at the point of no return, because why would you release that but not tell the whole story? I just didn't want to drag it out. And I know that, I figured I would just create a playlist and put the videos there. If people see it, they see it. If they don't, they don't. But no, I didn't know it was going to turn into this. So I just felt like if you're going to say part of it, say all of it. But do it responsibly. That's how I felt. Will you ever let us hear the diaries? Whew. I don't know, because they are personal. They are very personal. And the only way that the diaries would have been heard is if something had happened to me. And I talked about that earlier, where I had a friend who I trusted, and I said to them, I have these audio diaries. I've been making them since X, Y, and Z. They are located in, if anything ever happens, remember I have audio diaries. I know that sounds crazy, but yes, that was the plan, is that they're there in case something happened to me. How many months were you actually happy with him? I don't know. What type of lawsuit? To the person that said, is there grounds for a lawsuit? Cat, yes. Were you ever in fear for your life? When I was married to him, I had episodes where I was really a little bit paranoid. Once I started discovering how that the lies were deep, mental lies, yes, I did have some moments where I was looking online to see if he could possibly get life insurance policy on me without my knowledge. There were times that I know I've talked to some female friends about whether or not my car had been bugged, or a tracker was in my car. So yes, I did go through a period of worry and angst and a lot of anxiety. I did. Okay. Was he affectionate with you? Example, saying he loved you. Absolutely. He loved Mom like you wouldn't believe it. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because again, that's part of the facade of, I'm a great man, I'm a great provider, I'll be a great husband, I'll be a great father. Yes. What was initially attracted you to him? Could you rewrite that question? Because I don't understand that question. Does therapy help with your trusting issues? We were in total, we were married for 6 months. So we were dated, engaged, however you want to put it, longer than we were actually married. I know he'll see it. Did he ever threaten you or go off on you? No. Vivian, good question. Apology. Do you think he will ever apologize? When was it? It may have been July of 2021. He called because he needed a place to stay and he needed a bath and some food. So he did apologize then and promised to be the best husband ever if I would take him back. There you go. That's the only apology I've gotten. Do you think he's seen the series and is getting off on the attention? I'm so glad somebody asked that. I think she was asking what about him that attracted you. again, it was a combination of, I'm ready to get married. Here's this guy who's saying he wants the exact same thing. So he's speaking my language, saying everything I want to hear. And he kind of came in and really made life a lot easier for me. Again, I know that that's a bad reason, but made life a bit easier financially. I definitely felt, this is before I found out all the stuff I found out. So initially felt safe, definitely gave me the attention. And I truly thought I met the guy. I met him. And what a funny story that I met him and we matched on two. This is how my brain was thinking. We matched on two sites. We both want the same thing. We have similar backgrounds in terms of the whole law enforcement type background. He's very career driven. He seems very successful. And just the fact that I kind of thought it was like one of those weird scripted Hollywood movies where, we're in the car and he's playing John Legend. I think I met my wife tonight. And I'm just like, oh my God. So I had butterflies, and the butterflies eventually turned into gas. So can you share one more lie he said that you never shared in the series? There's so many. So one lie I can share is that he did try to send a copy of his bank account to the realtor, Scott. Oh, Jesus. He took a screenshot of his bank account and sent it to Scott. And the screenshot was a Google image that he had saved of a random U.S. bank account that had $68 million in there. Everybody pause and hear what I just said. He sent a screenshot of a Google image that had a U.S. bank account with $68 million in there and tried to say, this is my account. 68 million. Did you think this would blow up the way it did? No. Oh no, it's real. It's real, y'all. It's real. And when people say your memory is impeccable, it's because this was so traumatic to go through that it's like my brain is like, yeah, we haven't let this go yet. I remember a lot of details on stuff that he did because it was so crazy that it was like there was periods of time I thought I was maybe I misunderstood something. I've never encountered someone that will forge a chase letter. I've never met someone that would forge an HR letter stating that they had a promotion. I have never encountered someone who would go through great lengths of going to car dealerships. And I'm talking about, I need your wire transfer information because they want to pretend to buy a car. Do we even need to talk about the house? I still don't know anyone that would put an offer in on a house and they have no money. So have any of the realtors? No. Have any of the realtors reached out to you since you posted this story? No. So, oh, thank you. The cup is cute. Thanks. Do you think, how did you find out about the lies? Okay, so if you're not going to watch the whole 50-part series, just start at part 44 and it'll go into how I found out about the lies. Start at part 44. That's just 6 videos. Take your time, but yeah. How did your friends react? Their mouths were on the floor. And they had met him, but they had no idea. Are you dating now? Absolutely not. I know. And I say this to everyone, if you are in the live, first of all, thank you, because I understand it's Sunday and you all have better things to do, and I get that. But if you have the time, because the playlist will stay up there, maybe just watch parts 1 and 2 and then make your way through the series. I promise you a lot of stuff will become clear. A lot of questions will be answered. But maybe just watch it and then things will be clear. Was the mortgage pre-approval real? No, he had absolutely, I guarantee you on my student loans, he lied. That was a fictitious letter. Did you write your story, Al? It felt like a freaking movie. No, apparently I'm just well at rehearsing and rehashing stuff. No, I did not write it out. Jasmine, I'm pretty sure he has. Were the watches fake? I think you're talking about the Invicta watches. As far as I know, they were not, but a lot of them were bought because he liked to collect them. A few of them were bought through eBay. So, yes, I have seen him spend, $200 and something on an Invicta watch. I don't know much about Invicta watches to know if that's normal or if that's fake. I don't know. But that is the majority of where he bought them from. Was my ring real? No, my ring was not real. I have PTSD from the way you tell your story was so brave. Thank you, Shelley. I appreciate that. Have I ever considered getting revenge? I don't even know how you would get revenge on somebody like that. I think the best way to get revenge with someone like him is literally, and I'm not being funny, is to get away from them and then flourish. Because he does thrive on, again, you having that anxiety, you need him. And so he tries to control the situation. So I do think that I'll post a picture of the ring. But I do, to answer the previous question, the revenge, I think the best thing is to get as far away from them as possible and for you to flourish. I think we love you, Reesa. Love you too. Thank you. Do I think he ever loved me? Again, please start at, for the sake of Haiti, that's your name, please just watch part 50. Just watch part 50. How did he pay the bills? Again, guys, he was working. He was working. He just didn't have the job that he claimed to have, but he was working. He was not a regional manager, as I found out later. Did he go back for the car? What car? Did he ever fall short on the bills? No. Mizzy, he did not. I think my utility companies were like, oh, shoot, she must have got a raise because the bills were paid on time. What did I do with his memorabilia? Okay, fair enough. I've realized that you probably didn't watch the series either. Everything was donated to a domestic violence shelter. Everything, except for the WWE belts I sold. Everything else was donated. Kent K, was he angry that you sold all of his things? Kent, number one, it ain't my fault that he didn't read the divorce settlement. And number two, I don't know if he knew, but I'm sure he knows now. So he talked so damn much and never tripped up with those lies. No, he didn't trip up as much as you guys think, because I believe the lies were rehearsed, because there were similar lies between me and not only the ex-wife, but also some of his male friends. The thing about the cars, he has done that with numerous people. The thing about the houses, he has done that before with the ex-wife. She and I did have a conversation. However, and I said this before, out of respect for her, I'm not divulging anything that she told me in terms of specifics of what happened between the two of them, because that's not my story. I just needed her to confirm, yes, it was bad. And yes, he is a liar. So, Destiny Lynn, how did you find her? I believe you're talking about the ex-wife. That is also in the series. I'm not sure what part that's on, but it is in the series. How was his social skills, seeing as he only had 3 topics he talked about? What did Tracy think? Okay, so how were his social skills? He could talk to anybody about anything, but everything will go back to him, if that makes sense. He could talk to you about politics, but eventually all roads lead back to him talking about something that had to do with some accolade that he did. How much did I get for the WWE belts? In truth, because it was 5 belts, I may have sold those things for $300. I didn't really care about making a profit. I just wanted to get rid of them out of my house. Again, anything that was touched by him, used by him, had to go. Probably needed to put anointing oil on it before I got rid of it. Do I think the 2 fake sisters could have been girlfriends? So, I don't know if I went into... Okay, let me just answer the question. Do I think the 2 fake sisters could have been girlfriends? Well, first of all, one of them was completely made up. Shantae is made up. Kim is not a sister. She's a cousin. And I do think I said that. She's a cousin. I don't know where he lives, and I don't care. Was the $2K for okay, so once again, in terms of the $2,000 for the stepdaughter's funeral, that was just part of the lie that he told. He was simply asking me, do I mind if he gives the ex-wife money for the funeral? Obviously, there was no funeral. We found that out. I verified that. But I believe the $2,000 was just a lie. He was never giving it to anyone. He just wanted to look like a caring individual. That's what I believe. And I haven't found any evidence that anybody needed $2,000, because according to what I had then discovered, he's the one who borrows money from people, not loan money to people. Do you ever get spooked that you will see him somewhere? Absolutely. And I'm just being honest. Even in 2024, I have been places where I think there's someone that looks like him, and I physically type thing. So yes, just being honest. How much money were the bills he was paying monthly? I mean, because the rent was, at the time, this is pre-COVID, the rent was $950. So maybe he was paying $1,400 in bills. It wasn't an absurd amount of money. But what I later found out is while he was paying all the monthly bills, remember I said in the video, he was not paying his car note because they were looking for him, but he had disabled the tracking device. And I found that out when he had disappeared for those 2 weeks. So he wasn't paying his car note. So do you think he will do this to someone else? Unfortunately, if given the opportunity, yes. What made you take so long to do a background check? Well, I did one before we got married, but I had the wrong social. The problem is when it came back with no results, I did not, and ladies, gentlemen, this is on me, I did not immediately go, that's weird. I took it as a sign as there's no red flags, that maybe it was just in my head. And part of it is I wanted to believe that. I wanted to believe there's nothing. Child, you just paranoid. So I did initially try, but I did not try hard enough. And that is on me. I didn't try hard enough. Was it odd that there was no evidence of an arena football career? I didn't look as hard into the arena football because, unfortunately for me, I told him from out the gate, I don't know anything about arena football. And that, I think, was music to his ears. But yeah, that's the arena football, in my opinion, is one of those red flags, red banners, red door that had I just investigated just a little more, I never would have been in the position I was in. So, and again, just being honest. I'm late, but did you ever figure out why his health declined so rapidly? No, I never found out about the health issue. Ellen, I don't want to spoil. Well, we're not spoiling it for you, but yeah. What about the shoes you sent for Egypt? Could it be a child of his instead of his niece? I said this earlier, but I have not found any evidence that he had kids. No evidence at all that he had kids. So, to be honest with you, I don't know, but I did not find evidence of a child. Do you think you will ever move past this? Absolutely. I think this is part of it, meaning telling the story. But yes, I do. How did you find out the ring was fake? Okay. Because I am allergic to nickel. And so when I took it off one day, there was like a green ring around. So 2 + 2 is 4. 5 + 5 is 10. That ring was not real. And then eventually I actually found the exact same ring on Amazon accidentally. Well, I shouldn't say accidentally because everything happens for a reason. But that's when I discovered, oh, this is where my ring is from. How do you think he got into the hospital when he went missing? Oh, he told them that he was having suicidal thoughts. That's how he got in there. Because legally, I was still his wife. So when I had called all the major hospitals. Again, he was in a behavioral health / mental hospital down in Augusta. And from what I understand, when I called the lady, I said, I'm looking for my husband. I gave her his name, and he was just about to get released. They were just getting ready to discharge him. And he actually told me that he told them he told them that he had suicidal thoughts, and they kept him for 2 weeks. Did you think people would expose him? How do you feel about that? I knew that people would find him, but I felt like finding and exposing are two different things. I felt like you can find somebody and let people know without posting. Maybe that's naive to some people, but I feel like posting and exposing is a choice. And I think that sometimes we have to weigh all the options. So again, I had said this before. This is going to be the last time I said it. I wish that creator, whoever was the initial person to say, this is what he looks like, I'm letting you all know. I wish that they would have paused and said, let me give Reesa a heads up. And if they had given me a heads up, I'm telling you all, my response would have been, please wait about 24 to 48 hours so that I can, in my real personal life, get some things in order. I was not given that opportunity. And so I respectfully now just ask people, if you're curious as to who he is, I get it. But please don't engage, because the engagement can turn into antagonizing. And this person is not well. So just don't antagonize. Anything new you found out recently? Not since 2021 or 2022. I just know that everything was a lie, and I have not found anything that proves something was true. So, what was his warrant out for his arrest for? Violation of probation. I had no idea he was on probation when we were together, but he was on probation. Oh, Megan, that's a heavy question. I don't know why it stopped. Obviously the excuse was, I'm just really, really tired. I'm just really tired. But why, however it stopped or why it stopped, I may have been angry at the time, but it was a blessing. So what was he on probation for? I don't know if I don't remember the order of his criminal history. So I don't know if the probation was criminal trespassing. And the reason why I say that is because I believe the impersonating an officer, that is a felony. So I don't know if he would have been put on probation for that. So honestly, let me be safe in saying I don't know. I don't know what the probation was because I had no idea he was even on probation. Did that impact your job with him being, again, I had no idea he was on probation. No idea. I cannot stress that enough. I was shocked to find out he was on probation. Hell, I was shocked to see the criminal history, but I had no idea he was on probation. So I was just living my life as a law-abiding citizen. I had no idea. Is there something you still are wondering about or want answers to? Good question. The only thing that I wish I could have known, and I know this is going to sound a little whatever. I don't know what his plan was if that house or houses, if those offers had been accepted. Because when I asked him, I said, what were you going to do if they had accepted the offer? Y'all, without fail, without missing a beat, he said, I would have paid it. With what? So I often wonder, what would he have done? How would he have gotten out of that? And I say him because his name was on the offer, on the mortgage, all that other stuff. So I wonder how he would have gotten out of that once he submitted that offer and the sellers accepted that offer and all parties had signed. I don't know. What is the biggest lessons you have taken from this? Being desperate is a very, very dangerous thing. And I feel like while my ex-husband played me, I played myself. So it's not fair to always be like, it was him. No, it was not. That was one of the things I had to come to terms with. I'm going to have to take accountability for this because he never would have been able to get past all the things had I not been right there with the gate wide open. Do I think the death of his mother and grandmother made him crazy? No, KJ. He was crazy before that, but no one in his family looked into it to help him. I definitely think the death of his mother affected him, but I think that from what I understand from the family, he was crazy. He was definitely out of it before. From what I understand, the mom knew that there was something up with him, but he was her baby, and so he was coddled. Okay, so we did that one. How did he make his money, Charlie? He was working. Did you ever see? No, I never saw the juvenile criminal history, and I don't even know that there is one. There is an adult one, but I don't know that there is a juvenile criminal history. Why did his brother not talk to him since 2015? So the story is that in 2015, when their mother passed, Legion went to the funeral with his first wife. Apparently, the first wife had too much to drink and was disrespectful, like belligerent, towards different members of the family. And the family expected Legion to kind of take her and leave. And he didn't handle it the way that they thought that he should have. And so him and his brother had words, because he was like, you know, basically, you need to get your wife. Like, she up here talking to dad, all kind of craziness, because she apparently was drunk. And so they almost got into a fight. That's what I was told. Can I press charges on him for falsifying documents under... I don't know that I can. I'm not even sure that I would. I mean, I'm not trying. Hello, Uganda. I'm not even trying to deal with him. No, I never spoke to the twin. Have you opened up to dating again? I haven't. Not quite. Not yet. The first red flag. Honestly, probably the first red flag, when I think about it all the way back, because again, I've had time to think on stuff, probably was when, and I know people said, if he's holding your hand on the first date, that's crazy. That wasn't, and maybe that should have been a red flag. Honestly, it was when we were in the car and he played the John Legend song. When I think back, there was a part of me that was like, wow, you pouring it on kind of thick with this John Legend song. But that would have been the first red flag. If I had to say, hey, London, if I had to say that. Have you spoken to the ex-wife? No. Hello, Izzy or Lizzie in London. Hello. What did you both initially connect on, had in common, similar interest? Both of us, so the lie was that both of us grew up in the church. Both of us were from close-knit families. We were very close to our family members. Both of us wanted to travel, because I love all things having to do with travel. So just on a very basic foundation was kind of the religion, the family, and just the things that we wanted to experience in our life, and then also wanting the same thing. But of course, I then found out everything was a lie. Did you ever confront him on telling others your baby was alive? No, I found out about the baby story. I was in that period of time where I was waiting for the divorce decree. And so I did not confront him about it, because all I cared about was getting that divorce decree. How was your mom and aunt's reaction to finding out? Will you tell the next person you date about your ex-husband? Probably not. I think that I probably would just simply say it didn't work and leave it at that. If there's one thing that this experience has taught me, number one, there's a chance that the next guy may or may not know about it, because social media is forever. But there's one thing that this experience has taught me. Getting this out was cathartic, but continuing to talk about it now is turning into something else. So I feel like I've gotten it out. I've gotten the story out. I'm dealing with, the aftermath of getting it out. But I don't think that I would sit down with someone that I'm just dating and tell them this horrible monstrosity of a story. Like, at some point, you do need to move on. And the simple answer is, yes, I was married. It didn't work. Here you and I are. Who paid for the dates? He did. Sometimes I would treat him, but for the most part, honestly, like 98% of the time, he did. Does this feel healing for you in a way? In a way. But I see the benefits of putting it out there, but then I also felt like, oh God, because honestly, I've seen some of the comments I have. So I'm going to plug this phone up, so y'all just bear with me. Okay. So I'm going to have to hold the phone for a little bit. Thank you. Love you too. Do you think it was odd he didn't use speaker much, or that you couldn't hear voices in the phone? So that's a fair question. Did I think it was odd? it wasn't something I was conscious of because I honestly had never been in a position where I now need, okay, let me be clear. 2024 version of me. If I don't hear the echo of another person on the phone, I immediately think that that call is probably fake. But that's that PTSD stuff. But the 2020, 2021 version of me, or excuse me, 2020 really, didn't even think that I need to listen to see if this person's on the phone. I think sometimes when you have not encountered straight crazy, you kind of don't know. Yeah, I need to verify that every piece of paper you gave me is legit. I need to verify that I hear other voices on the phone. But welcome to the new 2.0 version of me. As a therapist, I'm curious how your therapists have helped you through. I really didn't like the therapist I had right after the divorce, so that's why I stopped going. Not to be funny, I don't think she really got me. Will you go live one more time to respond to questions? I would prefer if people DM me their questions because, and I'm going to tell you why I say that. For me personally, I've put the story out there, all 50 parts. It'll stay up there. I know that people will watch it. I'm just not sure I want to rehash and keep going through this over and over again. So I don't know that I would do, I'm just being honest, I don't know that I would do another live to rehash this. Because as entertaining as it is for some people, respectfully, please remember, this was hard to do for me. I mean, I understand that I've been cracking jokes because I do have a sense of humor, but this was hard to do. It's weird to see yourself when you're scrolling on TikTok to see video after video after video with your face on it and people giving their opinion. And some opinions are good and some opinions are bad. It's just it's a hard thing to go through. Have you heard from him since the TikTok story? No, I haven't. I have not. How has this impacted your relationship with your family? It hasn't impacted it in a negative way. I don't think. It's just, I think if anything, it just taught me, hey, it's okay to like talk to your family and friends about things that you're not sure about. Instead of you trying to hold it all in and internalize, because that will eat you alive. The internalizing all of this for the past 3 years was not healthy. I'm the first one to tell you it was not healthy. Would you talk to him again to get closure? No, I would not. I've given myself closure. My closure came when I got the judge's signature. Has his family contacted you? No. Will I create? Oh, I did have people ask me, will I create a GoFundMe for London or the BMW? It feels weird to create a GoFundMe. That's all I'll say. It feels weird. And y'all, I do want to go to London. And I do want my BMW X5 dark blue with the cognac interior M series. But it feels weird to do a GoFundMe. Did your ex law enforcement find out about the lies being told? Yes. I told him in real time, just to prepare him. But yes, he knew. He knew. What would you do if I've had this question. What would I do if another woman contacted me? Number one, I would be like, how'd you get my number? But let's say that she contacted me on TikTok and was like, hey, in other words, she did to me what I did to the ex-wife. I would give her the same grace and courtesy and respect that the ex-wife gave me. Whatever question she had, I would answer, and I would answer them truthfully, woman to woman. I absolutely would. I absolutely would. Do you see new career prospects in media ahead? I have no idea. I have no idea. Have you... feels like your trade-off with me. Oh, shoot. I'm missing stuff. Would you sell your story? Did the pastor and or pastor's wife help you at all after the divorce? All right, y'all. I'm going to be honest. Don't come for them. I have not heard from them since. Okay, so the series of events were the day that he got kicked out, I had called the pastor, and the pastor and I spoke. I have also spoken to the pastor when he went missing to see, hey, by any chance, had you heard from Legion? Pastor hadn't. Then in December, if you remember on the last part, part 49, I talk about how Legion he had contacted my job trying to look for me. And I said, if you contact me directly or indirectly, well, I had reached out to the pastor and had asked him whether or not Legion had reached out to him. And he said no. So he and I have not spoken. Me or his wife, me or him have not spoken since December of 2021. I have not heard from them. I'm not even angry about it because I really think on some level they felt like, ooh, you brought us into some mess and we don't want to be in no mess. And I get that. So no, I have not heard from them at all. Some people may say that's sad, but just don't be upset with them. They moving on with their life. Girl, you owe us nothing. You do not have to keep hashing this out for the sake of our entertainment. Thank you. Thank you. Do you think he researched you before meeting, or would he let you lead and then say he wanted the same? Leslie, kudos to you because that is an absolutely excellent question. No, I do not believe he researched me. And in some conversations, what I think, though, is that he absolutely looked at whatever was on my profile. I think he read it very closely. I don't think he researched me. I don't think he looked me up on Google or anything like that. But there were certain conversations where, yes, he was reactive to what I said. And then there were some conversations where he was proactive and I was the reactive one. So that's how that went. Oh, he feel like the trade-off is for me to start a GoFundMe. Y'all. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like a GoFundMe just seems like a lot. It just seems like, I'm not sure how I can justify that. And plus, honestly, I don't know if people would actually give to it. What is some of the other stuff the ex-wife was telling you when you contacted her? She and I had a conversation, but again, out of respect for her, I'm not really divulging what was in that conversation because it was personal to her. What did you do for your birthday? I went to the spa for the first time. First red flag, John Legend song on the first date. Yeah, that's kind of what I said. And the song was A Good Night. It's a great song. It's just now if I hear it, I cringe, but love you, John Legend. I just cringe. Yeah, if I did a GoFundMe, absolutely. Yeah, you are absolutely correct. I'm gonna look. I just heard people talk about it on Ashla. Okay. Are you writing this for filming? No, I haven't written anything. If a network reaches out to you to create a movie based on your story, would you be interested? Sure. Why not? Some people have great experiences on dating sites. So I'm not knocking it. I just know it's not for me. Did y'all go to church together? No, we would watch, because again, this was kind of COVID. We would watch some services online. But again, like I said before, the man could absolutely quote the Bible like nobody's business, but so can Lucifer. So watching church did nothing. It's just something for him to watch. But yeah. What do you want desires out of life moving forward? What would you like to happen? Most women have encountered a legion. That's true. Most women have encountered a man who has lied to them. But again, lying and a pathological liar, there is some distinction. Do you think he was having audible hallucinations when on the phone? At first, I would have said no, but he would be on the phone for 35 to 40 minutes. So that's a long time to sit there talking to your imaginary friend. So, yeah, I think that there was still an imaginary friend who's grown up with him since childhood. And I'm not being funny because his family told me that he had imaginary friends as a kid. If it wasn't for COVID, do you think the relationship would have moved as quickly? Absolutely not. I actually think if there was no COVID, I am not sure that I think the relationship would have went in a different direction. I do. I think it would have went in a different direction. Are you taking a break after this live? Yes. I have to. Would you share your voice notes? So they're not voice notes. They are, I call them audio diaries. I'm not sure that I would share them because they are so incredibly personal. If I find one that I'm comfortable with sharing, then I would, but they're very personal because I was really in kind of a weird, dark space at the time. What happened to the apartment he initially had? He got rid of it. As far as I know, my understanding is that he got rid of it. Reesa, do you think it was schizophrenia? I don't know. I don't know anything about what type of mental health issues it could be. I do believe that there were mental health issues. Do you miss anything about him or what you knew to be true? Yes. I miss that we would go out to eat and he would pay, or when he would pay the bills. And that's not even a nice thing to say. It's just there's really nothing. There's nothing good to miss. Did he wipe his social media before meeting? No, he did not. I had seen his social media, but one thing about his social media, at least at the time that I had met him, was that 90% of that stuff was either old or a bold-faced lie. But it took a while for me to find that out. Oh, yeah. If I go to London, I absolutely would do a TikTok live. You better believe it. I would do a TikTok. I would do a TikTok live from the Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport Terminal. I would do a TikTok live from Delta because I got Sky Miles, so I have to fly Delta. I would do a TikTok live from London Heathrow. I would do a TikTok from everywhere. So in London, what? I'd have my tea and my pinky in the air and everything. I would. You're absolutely correct. I would. The beanie. I saw the question, did you wear the beanie on purpose? No. It's just I didn't want to show my cornrows underneath. And had I known then what I know now, trust me, I would not have. And I'm sure y'all know what I'm saying. Was the stepson relationship real? No. And I did talk about that in the video when I spoke to the ex-wife. The kids had absolutely no relationship with him whatsoever. Were the Jordans and the WWE real? No, because I'm pretty sure the Jordans, instead of it looking like the Jordan emblem, it looked like Jordan was playing tennis or something. And I'm pretty sure he got them from the flea market over at Greenbrier. So, no, I don't think they were real. The WWE belts were official replicas.